So welcome to Setup Grind. This is our third phase, and it happens to be a very good Tuesday. Today we have Jennifer Shigoli from Malkia Investment, and we are going to be talking about so many things involving her business, manufacturing, technology, and every little thing that she's been doing and every big thing that she's been doing for more than 10 years. Karibuni sana to everybody. If it's your first time, karibuni. If you've been here more than once or twice, still karibuni sana. Jennifer.
Yes.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
Karibu.
Asante.
Yes, so today we have Jennifer Shigoli from Malkia Investments. Some of you might know her from Bubbly, the soap. Some of you might know her from Elea, the pads. At the same time, some of you might have used her chalks, Soma chalks.
Primary school students here?
Do we have school students, secondary school, primary? If you're really inspired, we have a primary school student today. So inspiration comes in different forms, eh? Like I said, it could be from a soap, it could be from a pad, or it could be from a chalk. Jennifer, tell us, how did you start, when, and how? Tell us.
Business-wise, mi nimeanza zamani sana. Toka niko shule. Like I was 17, 18 hapo. Now what I used to do, nilikuwa nauza hizi nini za Kimasai. Vitu vya hizi beads, bangles, silver bangles. Tena kulikuwa na mwindi mmoja supply alikuwa Kariakoo. Kwa I used to go, nachukua, naenda nauza mtaani pale kwetu na nini. So like I felt earlier on, I knew kwamba ukiwa na kitu ukauza, then you get money. So it was fun. I was just doing it kwa sababu yani it was fun kwamba nitachukua kitu, nitaenda nitauza, nitapata hela. I don't have to ask for money, sijui hizi hela ndogo ndogo. Yani zilikuwa zinipigi chenga by then. Tena unaweka chini ya compass.
Which is how long ago?
It was like 2003, 2004 to 2005.
13, 14 years.
Yes. But I was just doing hiyo trade ndogo ndogo kwa marafiki zangu, nyumbani, mtaani, kwa hiyo nikawa nauza. And I really got used to it mpaka nikasema wow. So business is the way to go kwa sababu nilikuwa natengeneza hiyo quick money. But officially ile yenyewe nimeanza mwaka 2012. Nilipomaliza chuo, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, kwa kitaaluma mimi nimesoma sheria, nimesoma tumaini, kwa hiyo
So full English.
So like we switch to
Yes.
Swanglish or English. Like total English?
English.
Okay.
Yes. So before you tell us about you being a lawyer and other things that you did, the whole idea of doing business back in 2004, 2005, was it something that you got from your parents, your brother, your sister, your neighbors, or some TV show that you saw that inspired you?
Unfortunately, no one is doing business in my family. Not my father, not my mother, no one. I've never seen, like, I've never seen someone doing business, like, in my, my family. And I don't know, I loved creating stuff. Also in primary, I used to create these needles. Okay. Yes, so I used to, like, sew them and whatnot. But, like, it's something that excited me. Okay, I can make something and I can sell, or I can have something and I can sell. And when I grew up then, I started looking at the people who were doing business. I heard about Oprah. Actually, my first time to read about Oprah was like in grade 7. It was, you remember Alasiri? Yes. So they did an article, and my dad used to come with that magazine because they had exercises. Who remembers that? 50 questions mathematics, 50 questions English. I used to hate that newspaper. So I was given the newspaper and, going through, and then, the black richest woman in the world and whatnot. So I read the article, I read like the story. It really excited me. And I think that was like my, turning point. I said, okay, so she's doing this, she's doing business, now she's rich. I was just excited about that. And I started like following her up religiously. Okay. Yeah. Even my first email I opened in 2004. You used to go to, I did some AKA there, but we used to go to like internet cafes. So when you go, you check them online and whatnot, and then you get to learn. I said, okay, I want to do something like that. But I think that's what triggered, the business side of me, yeah.
Okay. Then you grew up later on and you decided to take law. Why law?
I don't know. I first took international relations and diplomacy. I did a CFR. And then with the course we did international law. So I figured, okay, apart from business, I used to love being a diplomat, like working in the UN, embassy, being an ambassador, like was something cool for me. So I said, okay, if I did the international relations, if I do law, it's going to add, value to it. And then masters, I can do also international relations. So my focus was to become a diplomat somewhere there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I chose law. Law, it's cool. Like, it's this,
You like the status.
Yes, it's the status. Exactly. So I said, okay, with this course I just did, it's going to, add value. Because you can't do like international relations and you go to do like chemistry or being a doctor. Yeah, you can, but I figured law would have been the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you by any chance use your law profession or a little bit of your diplomacy with your business that you're doing right now? Do you mix the two up? Is there a balance between the two?
Yes.
How do you do it?
I totally do, especially law. Like in business, you meet people. People come with deals. People come with contracts. People come, with a lot of things. Now you have to be careful. A lot of people said, I didn't know. Somebody told me this, somebody told me that. I didn't know. So there is a contract course that we were taught in first year, right, Grady? Yes, it's a first year course. And at one time, it really helped me because I can, read the contract and understand what this person means. The legal language can be confusing, yeah.
Okay.
So it really does.
You said you've been doing a lot of things from back 2003, 2004, officially 2012.
Yes.
Is that when Elea started or Bubbly, or what started back in 2012?
So back in 2012, I started with Bubbly.
The soap?
The soap. I actually stepped out. I worked at the General Attorney's Chamber for like a couple of months as an intern. And I couldn't see now. I think that's another point, a turning point where I felt like, okay, I'm just here and I'm not getting what I want. And it will take me years, like even decades to be where I want to be. So I said, okay, let me look for opportunities that I can go for. Then I saw manufacturing. So back in 2012, not a lot of people were talking about this sector, until 2015, the new government, the industrialization, now you hear people singing. But back then I said, okay, I want to do manufacturing. And everybody was, so what do you want to manufacture? Because people thought manufacturing, you need to have huge capital. You need to have huge land, to set up a building like this, put machines and whatnot. So I said, oh, I'll just explore. And in exploring, so what product again should I make? And I said, wow, why can't I make soap? Because it's a product that we need. I was looking for something that we are using every day. And I believed if you're using something else, then at some point you're going to use my soap because it's something that has no substitute. You say, no, today I'm using sand. No, you have to use soap. Yeah, just like water. You go and say, give me Kilimanjaro. They say, no, we have Ohio. I said, okay, just give me, just because it's water. So I said, okay, soap is something that will touch everybody. I can sell, I can advertise, and I can easily, not just easily sell, but it's something that everybody needs, every household needs. Yeah.
Okay. That was in 2012.
2012, yes.
Now, what's the difference between Bubbly and the other soaps? What makes Bubbly different from Kuku, Yogo, and the Protex? What do you add? Do you add a personal touch to it? Is it made by a fancy company in France and it's being packed over here in Tanzania? Or do you add special ingredients that are only found in Tanzania?
Okay, so what's special, first of all, it's a Tanzanian-made product. It's made from here, like from the scratch. But again, the quality of the soap. And when I went to this industry, I learned a lot. Not just here in Tanzania, I went to Nairobi, I went to India. I learned a lot, And how can I make my products unique? I focused on the quality. I know what other soaps are doing, basically. I know what other, big brands are doing basically. So I said, okay, I want to, provide a product that will be of good quality. But again, the world is going green. Yeah, so there's a lot of harmful chemicals that are being used in detergents and other soaps, and they affect us whether we know or we don't. Even the strong smell that we all like, it's not really good because it's poison. Somebody said, I need a strong smell in here, but that's poison. So I shifted, I want to go green. I want my soaps to be, user-friendly, but basically of the quality, yeah.
I like what you said. You
and
said
the formulation.
Made from here,
yes,
scratch,
yes.
Meaning that you have employed people here.
Yes.
And do you have a factory over here?
Yes.
How many people have you employed?
So far, my whole team,
yeah.
Because we have two sets, we have full-time employees, we're 25 from the production and till the end, and then we have part-time employees. Total is 45 people.
45.
Yes.
Are they the same people that you use in your other business as well?
No. We've split it. For the detergents, it's a certain group. For the pads and for the chalks, it's a
different group.
A different group, yes.
We had a guest up, and this is something that we like to talk about. I think she used an example of Imelda, if I'm not mistaken. Don't carry too many babies in your stomach because sometimes it can mess you up.
Mm-hmm.
She used examples or an analogy of babies in the sense that if you have too many things going on in your life, it can get tiresome and crazy and you might not be able to handle it. How are you able to handle chalks, soap, and sanitary pads and other things moving around here, getting there? Yeah.
I think the major thing in business you have to do is to create systems. You have to create systems. And if you don't have a proper system that's working, because the system is the one that's working, the person is just there to operate under that system. So if you don't create such kind of systems and you depend on people, that can be crazy.
I want to know that system that makes your work balanced.
From the production to the distribution, to the daily activities, to the daily operations, internal and internal office, because there's 3 branches, and we have Malkia investments, which is the top. So from Malkia management and the daily operations, we have the systems. In the production area, we have the system. It all comes down and it meets at our head office. Yeah.
I had a chance. I was stalking her, by the way, online, and I happened to do this, I think, yesterday and today. I told you that I was watching her on YouTube, and I managed to see so many interviews of you. There was the African Entrepreneurship Award, and there was the other one, which is from Tanzania Private Sector Forum, if I'm not mistaken. I want to know how you tapped into that market, especially without even going to the award sector. But how do you manage to go into the private sectors? Because sometimes I've known, being a startup, you might go to these places and they tell you, your business is very young, we don't understand your business, and we deal with the big companies, with the big names, you know the big names, right? So how were you able to convince these people that, hey, I am a young woman who's doing this and this and this, please certify my work, please make it valued in my community, and go on. How did it go? CDO, TIRDO, how did it go?
Okay, so the key thing is to go and introduce yourself, because a lot of people say, nobody recognized my work. I'm doing a great work. Nobody recognized, and it's true. Nobody will recognize. At some point, you have to go to these people. I know that I belong to the private sector. Then the private sector foundation is there because of me. No matter how small I am, the first thing I did, I put together my profile. And that's why I said earlier, you have to create system. You have to be formal in any, at any level. You have to be formal. I put together my profile, the company profile, my work, all the records of what I'm doing, what I've done, and I put together in a file. I went and knocked the door, and I introduced myself. Of course, you get that, we're dealing with bigger companies, you're small. You say, you know what? Just get to know me. Here is my profile, and you go. I went to the Ministry of Youth, who is, they have lots of programs for us. They just, sometimes they said, I haven't seen it anywhere, they don't advertise. Yeah, but for me, I said, I believe in going. I went, I introduced myself. So for any place that I know, this might be valuable to my business, this can be, add value to what I'm doing, I go and introduce myself. The key thing is to go and knock the doors. Just keep knocking, keep knocking. They'll say this, they'll say that, TCCIA. I went and introduced myself. I pack my files, I pack my profiles, and I go. I said, this is what I'm doing. If it's small, yeah, just get to know me. Just get to know me. For now, I don't need anything. Just get to know me. Like there is someone doing these kind of things somewhere. Yeah.
You mentioned that in your process of learning how to make things, you went to different companies or organizations to teach you. Somewhere over here in the country and somewhere outside the country. Can you just mention them in general? When you're making your products, for example, chalk or soaps or the sanitary pads, did you learn most of it from here, or did you have to go to India, China? Are these opportunities found extensively and intensively here, or you had to seek for broader horizons somewhere else?
I think you have to seek, and as I said, like manufacturing sector was, not so quite grown. Dull. Yeah, quite dull here in Tanzania. And we know the big companies that are in manufacturing as a mode, they all do manufacturing, and sometimes it's really difficult. I went to them, it was difficult, I couldn't get through, even just going inside and see what's going on. So it was difficult. And I said, Nairobi, they're way ahead of us, let me just go and explore. I took the bus, I went. It's not even expensive. It's like 65,000, fare going to Nairobi. So I went, and the good thing is they have these parks. There's industrial area park, and I went and started exploring, asking, I'm doing this, where will I get this and this? And then some people say no, some people, welcome you and you get to learn, but I learned so much there, and it's like my second home now. I just go most of the time.
You keep on mentioning something that keeps on resonating in my head. I think back in 2012, 13, that's when you started officially. But back then, the whole manufacturing process was a bit dull.
Yes.
Right now, there's a bit of a saying on the so we have to move forward with industries. So I happened to be talking to a friend of mine a few weeks ago. And he told me that it's very, very, because he's tried business outside the country, and the whole registration process and getting your things formalized is a bit easier as compared to Tanzania. Now, this was actually a current situation because it happened a few weeks ago. So I'm thinking, even in our current drive that we want to push manufacturing industries forward, how is it with you? Because you've been here like 5, 6, 7 years, but how's the situation back then and now? Is it easy? Is it smooth?
The situation is not smooth. And at least now people are singing about it. Now, the registration and whatnot can go a bit faster. But back then it was even more difficult. I followed up for just one certification for like 8 months. Just one certification you get for 8 months. Yeah, you're just following up. You don't, even if you produce, you sell, but you're selling and you're like, ish, what if they catch me without? But you just work in papers to show people that this thing is in process. So we don't have, I think the formalization, like if you want to formalize your business, it's still difficult in what sense that things are scattered. There are a lot of authorities that you have to go through, and they're way, way scattered. If you have to go to BRELA, and then you have to go to GS1, you have to go to TFDA, TRA, you have to go to TBS. All these authorities are very OSHA. They're very scattered. So now we're advocating that we need a one-stop shop that will find all these windows in one place, that if I'm going to register manufacturing venture, then I can get the rest of the people. Okay. And the worst part is, you might know about TBS, you might know about TFDA, but you don't know about OSHA. These people don't really, if they do advertise, I don't know.
Have you ever heard of it?
Yes, but most small entrepreneurs don't really know them. So you just caught by surprise. They knock, they just catch you. You pay a lot of money as fines, and that discourages a lot of people. But the process is tough. The process is long. I think they can do better.
There's a quick fun fact. I think a lot of you guys, if you like to engage in this particular industry, you mentioned that if you go through a certain process, for example, CIDO or TIDO, it's easier to get TBS or other certifications. Unlike if you go in your own channels and you expect to get TBS soon. I think you mentioned something like that a few weeks ago. How does it go?
Yeah, so like this is for people who are in manufacturing.
Okay.
CIDO has to know you. Like the very first place you have to go is CIDO. CIDO will take you through to all these authorities, and you get these services for free. I didn't know that first. For free for 3 years.
For 3 years?
Yes, and then after 3 years, then you start paying the annual fee.
But if you don't go through that process, how much are you supposed to pay?
It's difficult because for me, before I found out that, I went like straight to TBS, and for just for inspection, like it's a long process. But for one product, they charged me like 3 million, and I had like 6 products, so it's expensive. Then I got to know, like,
and
if you go.
When? Sorry, that was when?
2013.
And the price might have increased by now.
Yes.
Okay.
So they told me, if you're a small entrepreneur, go to CIDO, introduce yourself to CIDO. CIDO will come inspect your work. They're satisfied. They will, write a letter to TBS and all other authorities that you want to go, and then you'll be, given the service for free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So in my process of stalking you, checking your work online, or maybe should I say research, for lack of better terms? For lack of better terms, pardon my words. I happened to listen to one interview that you said your business has grown to more than 5 regions, if I'm not mistaken. What are your plans? Are you extending right now? Because you're close, I think, just to expand. And how's the expansion process, and how are you looking on doing business outside these borders?
Wow, the expansion process has been tough, not just like I thought. It has been so tough, really tough, but we are there now. We're hoping to relaunch in end of October, early November, somewhere there. But now our strategy is to even go beyond the 5 regions that we currently are. We're in Mwanza, Songea, Mtwara, we're in Iringa, and Arusha, and Dar es Salaam. So like the 5.
Okay.
Yes.
So the expansion that you're building right now is for all the companies that you're
Yes,
in.
yes.
How is it going to go?
Now, with our capacity, because we've really increased our capacity, we've got like huge machines to, cater for the orders, for the big orders. So we're not just going to expand in here. Now we've got clients also in Burundi.
Okay.
Yes, and Zambia.
That's big.
So we're looking, yes.
Thank you for giving me a leeway to ask about the moolah. So back to a topic that I love talking about the most, money. How do you, I know you work hard, and obviously through your investments and the returns come in and you make more business, but other ways of you making money, sponsors, grants, donors, or how many write-ups, proposals, how do you do it?
Okay, so for me, for the money that I raised,
you can also go into details of that.
Not really. Okay, so in business, we all know, most people are doing business here. You start with a small capital, and then it goes, and then it reaches somewhere that it has just stuck. You can't go further no matter how you do it. You need to scale your business. So for me, I started with what I had, and I saw there is a big potential. Big orders were coming in. I couldn't supply. I didn't have that capacity, and I felt like, okay, now I need to scale up my business. Where am I going to get the money? I started looking for different options. Loans, I said, no, I'm not ready for loans. We all know like bank loans can be hectic and the process is long. So I said, okay, let me focus on grants. There are a lot of opportunities out there for entrepreneurs, small entrepreneurs. So let me just focus there. Let me look for these opportunities and see how I can, tap in and get to scale up my business. So I started learning how to write the proposals, business plans, day and night. I wrote like every day. I had 2 hours for opportunity searching. So after work, around 5, 6 to 7 is opportunity searching. So I would search all the opportunities out there, and I'll submit my proposal or write up, whatever they require. And I wrote a lot, trust me. I wrote a lot of proposals, and and every time you get a feedback, you get a chance to improve. For those who said no, I got a chance to improve, because when they say no, they say why they said no. They said, oh, your financials are not clear. We expected to see this and this. So next time you learn, I said, okay, if I write a proposal, then this is how my financials should be. This is how I should keep my records. This is how I should, explain myself. So I got to a point where, like, I'm writing these things every day, because my goal was to gather funds and scale up the business, yeah. So I can't remember how, I wrote a lot of proposals, yes.
This is interesting, because sometimes you might listen to an interview, you might feel that everything has been going smooth.
No.
But so far we've seen one bump. Speaking about bumps, now I'm thinking, throughout your career that you've been making for the past few years, has there come a moment, even like last year, or when you said, you know what, let me put a stop to my business, because right now you're expanding, so your business is closed. Is there a time, or has there ever been a time that you said, you know what, I can't. Right now, one of my businesses is going down, I need to strategize, I need to get more people, maybe it's the marketing. Is there a time when you said, I'm failing? Now let me pick myself up and do something else? Or
there are a lot of time that you feel you're failing. There are a lot of time when things are happening the way you didn't plan, or you didn't, foresee that this is going to happen. But I had no moment that I said, okay, let me do something else. No, my business is my life. It's my baby. It's my everything. It's who I am, So, and the way I saw the opportunity in the sector that I'm in, and the way I see the direction that we're going, not just me as a country, as a world, and everything that has to do with manufacturing, I saw like there's a big opportunity for me, and especially here when it's still on a low. So most of the time we'll be like, okay, let's change our strategy, let's change our production strategy, let's change the people, let's change this, let's change that. But in all that doing, you're hoping for something that, okay, if we change this, then we expect this to happen, and it will push us to this point. So yeah, it happens when you feel like, this is not working. But you can't just stay there and say this is not working. No, you have to work first. You have to think first and change.
This is the talking about her. You see how soft she's talking, yeah? She's not specific. She's just very diplomatic. Now, there's a saying that we say in this country, Nabia kubariki kwao. A lot of us have used that sentence in different contexts. Now, I'm thinking, you've received several awards and accolades, I think, outside Africa, inside Africa, some of them inside the country, Malkia, and other terms. But I think you're known first. Ulijulikana zaidi, or you got more news from outside Tanzania, then you started getting some more here. Were you applying to get some of these awards, or was it something that you did that was so big that the international scene saw it first in other countries? For example, the AEA, African Entrepreneurship Awards, which is an all-around award in Africa. And I think there was another award that you got. Was it in China, or where was it from? Is it Morocco?
Yeah, it's the same in Morocco.
The same.
Yes.
I want to know how you were able to go into this award-winning moment.
Okay, so with the African Entrepreneurship Award, actually their goal is to empower young entrepreneurs across Africa. You apply, it's an application process. You apply, you show your work, this is what I'm doing, this is the impact that I'm making. And I applied through Elea, sanitary pads. So we've been doing Elea since 2014, 2015, and 2016. So we went like, our goal was in villages, So we did a lot of work, and I had another program under Elea that's called Binti Huru. Yes, that we used to educate about menstrual hygiene management, show the pads and sell the pads, creating the Elea ambassadors. This is a network of local females entrepreneurs. So they become our ambassador and they distribute the pads. We give them the TOT for menstrual hygiene management, and then they go train other people, and then they form this. So it's like a network, and it went viral. Yeah, so in lots of villages, we have these ambassadors and whatnot. So I managed to show my work. It was there, like I document everything goes in a formal way. And I managed to, got other organizations that backed me up. I partnered with Umati even before the award. So Umati, as we all know, what they do. So I used their network to leverage my program and the product itself. So when they distribute the contraceptives, it goes hand in hand with the pads. So we managed to go big in that sense in different places. So I managed to show the impact. I managed to show my work, and yeah, they were impressed and said, okay, we need to scale this up, and we believe you can do beyond, because what they're looking for is a program or a business that can be done locally, like in your country, and can be done in other countries in Africa. And they're looking if there is that need of what you're doing. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you mentioned a couple of things. You have ambassadors and Binti Huru.
Yes.
Binti Huru. There's one particular subject that I also got from you. You were cleaning toilets.
Definitely. Choo
Cleaning
Salama.
toilets for free.
Yes.
You were going to different schools.
Yes.
Primary schools, which
Yes.
you know how primary school toilets are. If you went to my primary, you know, my friend, the punishment that you're given, you have to go scrub those toilets. So I'm thinking, how are you doing it? Was it part of the strategy that you had for Elea or the Bubbly, or how was it? Tell us more about Choo Salama.
Okay, so Choo Salama was a strategy I had for the detergents, for the cleaning products.
Okay.
Yes, because Bubbly is a cleaning product, and I said, okay, as a marketing strategy, first of all. But again, I wanted my products to get out there. I didn't have a big budget for advertising. And I said, okay, if I started a program that can go hand in hand with these soaps, then, the word can go out there. And trust me, we got a lot of customers because we went to schools, we cleaned the toilets using Bubbly. The kids were singing about Bubbly. They go home and said, every toilet should be cleaned with Bubbly. So they go home, they tell their mom, then their mom look for us. Okay, we've heard about this Bubbly. What is it? So we used to get, we got the word out there, and I'm glad even UNICEF, they had a wash program. Okay. I went, I knocked, I showed them.
You also cleaning UNICEF toilets as well?
No, they had a wash program that have something to do with toilets. So they started supporting us. Okay. Yeah, so we went bigger, yeah. And then in the process, we got other donors, like the people who were they saw us on Facebook and they're like, okay, we're interested. Okay. It's called Nourish Trust. It's in UK. So we said Choo Salama is safe toilet. So with Choo Salama, it has to be clean. There must be water. But if it has crack, it's not safe. Then they donated lots of toilets. We built lots of toilets. We repaired lots of toilets. And we even got Bolor. They built biogas toilets. So the kids will get, the school will get electricity while using the toilets. And we have a sample of it at Msasani Primary School, yeah.
So was it a project that was done in Dar or in a specific district, or was it also going because of UNICEF got on board? Did it spread around the country? How did it go?
So because of the UNICEF supported us, they said, okay, we are not dealing in Dar es Salaam unless it's Temeke. So we had to go out. Okay. But for the Bolor, we just did here. For the Nourish Trust, we did here. We did Iringa. We did, and Sumbawanga. Yes.
Okay, interesting. Now, we live in a day and age where a lot of things are said to be smart. Now, if you come to Buni, if you come to this place, the one thing that you'll be hearing every day, smart solutions, smart talk, smart water, smart this. And you are in the manufacturing industry. And you said it yourself, we are in a zone or space where things are growing. We're not there, but we are trying to head there. Tell me, is there a chance of marrying the two? Like, for example, smart or how should I say this, smart manufacturing or just manufacturing and smart technology and putting it up together. Because we see right now houses are being made in 3D, even guns. Sorry for using that example, but I've seen a 3D gun. And how do you think we can marry the two or bond the two? The manufacturing industry, especially the one that you're dealing with, and the smart world that we are in right now in this country.
Okay, so first of all, technology. Now we can't escape technology.
Yeah.
It's everywhere now, and it's growing, and it's gonna be worse as time goes on, even in manufacturing sector. And one thing that I hear that people are encouraged to start industries, factories, so that they can employ people. And trust me, there was one factory I went in China. It produces what can I say? Like 10 or 20 tons per day of animal feed, and it's being operated by 8 people. Yes. Everything is automated. They use highly technology in everything. So I think there is a lot of technology in manufacturing, and there's a lot that will be going on. And in my case, for example, before we used to have, like, in the cutting department, I used to have 5 people in the cutting department. I told you we are expanding. I got bigger machines. So in the cutting department, we used to do like 1,000 pieces or 1,500 pieces because we were using hand machines a day. But I've done the expansion with the machine, the cutting machine that I just got. It can cut 40 tons.
40 tons
per day, and it's being operated by 1 person. So I've cut down 4 people.
Right.
You get it? And that's
to employment.
Exactly. So in manufacturing now, people, and it's cheap to automate. That's another, I think that's another, what can I say? That's another thing that is cheap, because if just 1 person can do this work, if 8 people can produce 20 tons of animal feeds per day, so you can see, like, everything is being, automated. So I think there's a lot that's going to be done, and yeah.
I'm going to finish my questions. I had a lot of things to ask, but 2 quick questions before I leave it to these guys. There are a lot of policies being formed every day. We hear, especially in manufacturing industry, some people say that so much dirt, so much waste. In other countries, the developed ones, they say, oh, chemical gases filling lungs everywhere, people dying. What is your policy in it? Some people say 0 waste policy. Some people say it's 20% waste policy. How do you do with what do you do with residue? What do you make out of it? What is your policy in general?
Okay, so I'll start with my view.
What is your view?
Okay, is to encourage, for example, as for the pads, it's a 0 waste.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 0 waste process. For the detergents, we have waste, you see. But again, is to look at the whole value chain of your products. It's to encourage people looking at the whole value chain of the products, and to encourage other people to see opportunities in the value chain of a certain product. For example, I met one guy, we went for Elea, I met one guy that making soaps from oil, like waste, which is waste. Like he goes around to these chips, vibanda vya chips, yes. And then he collects the oil, yes. And then he turns it into, soaps. Yes, so I think the bigger thing is to encourage people to look at the opportunities on the value chain of a certain product. If I'm making sanitary pads, I have a lot of cotton left, and somebody can come and say, do you know what, I want to make pillows.
Do you make pillows?
I do. And that's what I'm saying, it's 0 waste, because the remaining, we do like nice pillows.
Okay. Good promotion.
You see? So if you see someone, maybe, for example, Angie, she's doing, rice and whatnot. The remaining, you can do animal feeds and say, you know what, Angie, I'll come to you, buy the, what do they call pumba in English? Okay. I know. So I'll come to you, buy that, and make Animal feed.
Animal feed.
Exactly. And again, I would like to add to your point, the smart way of doing it. Now, we want the tech people to come with solutions. If there's a lot of, emissions, if there's a lot of waste, what can we do to turn this,
I said I think I had 2 questions. Let me add another one. I think 2 questions, only 2. So I'm thinking right now, because you have different businesses and you need to market your work. Without marketing, your business will not be able to grow. What is your marketing strategy? How do you push your work across? Do you have people, organizations? Do you have people that are very, very aggressive marketers that are out there promoting your business? Or how do you do it?
Okay, I have people working with, and I always say this, as an entrepreneur, you need experts. It's expensive to hire experts, it's expensive to, even to get a consultations, but you can go in form of partnership. At some point, if you show someone an opportunity, if you show that this is how your contribution will be, this is how you're going to benefit, this is the end goal. The first might not listen, the second, but the third will, or the fourth, or So I managed to do that and forming partnerships with these companies, small companies and organizations. But previously I relied only mostly on the programs that I started. They're community programs, but they also act as a marketing campaign to the products. Yeah, but I believe in, strategic partnerships. Go to these companies. If you see a good advertising company, just put your work down and say, you know what, this is what I want, and this is how we're going to benefit. I might not pay you in cash, but if you show it clearly, I believe people know opportunities. If you show it clearly, you just get people to, say what, we're coming on board.
Okay.
Same as I went to Malkia, I know they have a huge network. So instead of me building another network, I said, okay, if we use your network, this is how we're going to benefit me and you. This is how you're going to benefit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last question. What are the challenges that you face in your business? Every business that you do. What are the challenges?
Wow. There are a lot of challenges. Sometimes you just do things because you've just done. Sometimes it can be crazy. It can be too busy. But I always put my mind and say it's part of the game. Like, I don't expect it to be easy. It has never been easy, and it will never be easy. But you get to learn, you get used to it and say, you know what? This is the part of the game. This is the part of the business. So I have to learn. I have to rebuild. I have to, get myself ready to face whatever that will come, yes.
Okay.
But again, putting good strategy from your management to the sales, to everything, putting good systems, they help. Yeah.
Wow. What we always say is when we come to Startup Grind, we want to provide ice. And so far, me as a host sitting here next to you, I'm very, very inspired. I got the ice, I got the inspiration, and I got the connection because I have her number. So if you want to know more, if I want to know in terms of business, don't get twisted. I will go to her and ask her. And I've also been educated so much today. And one of the things that she said, you have to scale up. She realized that capacity is a bit of a problem. She took a pause, she took a break, and she said, you know what? Let me relax and let me re-strategize and scale up. And that's what she's been doing. At the same time, she saw other opportunities and she said, I can market my business over here, but I can also partner with certain people and I can develop my business. A couple of the lessons that I've learned today. But, so with that note,
oh, thank you very much.
Thanks for Jennifer Shigoli, our guest for tonight. Like, another big round of applause for yourself. You know what, you're making our job easier. Like, you guys are eating them, sorry, very interesting. You're very opinionated, they have very good questions. I think one of the days we've had a great time today. We've had a great time. Interesting time that we've had. And hopefully, we'll in our next event.
Takuya.
I'm also very, very easy with that language. So, Startup Grind, man. Stand up grind jamani, tunatoa zawadi every end of the
Naomba
event.
niifae.
Tunatoa zawadi.
Yeah.
It's not gold, but it's gold in our heart.
I know.
Come on, eh?
Ah, I love that.
So